This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot. Woo! And the only movie that can be described as
so much weirder than the last time. What last time?
It's the frequel.
You ready?
We've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. Happy to be with you. Happy that you're joining us. I'm Branden of Carolyn and Branden, always with the great Carolyn Osorio. Carolyn, you look lovely in red. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I'm good.
I'm well. Summer is here. You can always tell it's summer in Los Angeles because of all the rioting. No, I'm kidding. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype, people. It's not that bad. It's located in two very small pockets of unrest, but mostly very peaceful and righteous. So don't believe the hype.
Well, was there like a temperature spike there?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Just regular 80 degrees, 70 degrees.
Cool. I mean, beautiful weather. We're in June, so it's actually a little cooler this time of year. There's what's called the June gloom. Every morning, there's a very thick marine layer over the whole basin that burns off around 11 or 12, and then it starts to heat up. But
you like the gloom.
I love the gloom. I
love how you're just sitting there being like, yeah, and I'm like,
I like when it starts early and they call it the May Gray. Everyone's bitching about the May Gray. I'm like, fuck yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
I know, it's like been like 80 here in Seattle, so that's kind of crazy for us. It's like all of a sudden, it's like summer. But we had that like bomb cyclone, so the kids don't get out until like the 24th.
Right.
It's just like, I mean, they usually get out like on the 18th or 19th.
Your kids are still in school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My oldest has been out for a week and a half already.
Yeah, it's a real grind. We're all ready for it. And then all of a sudden this spree of good weather came, and it was like, what are we still doing in school?
Right. What was school like? What was the rhythm when you were like in high school? When did you start? When did you stop high school?
It was like September 4th is
right,
when
okay, after Labor Day.
Yes, I know, and I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. And then
school ends first week of June.
Not the first week, probably the second week of June. Probably like
we were like June 6th, June 7th was always the last week of school, and you go back after Labor Day.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this madness? Kids going back to school in August.
What? August? What?
Yeah, school starts in like mid-August here. Yeah, I know. I know. You can't even speak. I know. It's ridiculous. I know. Yeah. I don't like it either.
I don't know why they're trying to take away everything fun about school.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But they
like
are.
the birthday parties with the treats where you can bring them in and everybody
can't do it anymore. You can't drive by a school here with a peanut anywhere in your car.
Okay, my kid has a tree nut allergy, so I get it. But
it's his fault.
No, it's not, because he's like a trooper. He doesn't like he knows like I can't eat that. You know, he doesn't make it everybody else's responsibility to like, you know, not have.
No, I get it. Listen, I think we're better off. Definitely. Who gives a shit if you can't have free peanuts on an airplane if it could kill somebody and you're in the air? Okay, no peanuts on airplanes. That's a fucking no-brainer.
No, I'm talking about cupcakes.
No, I know. I understand. See, I'm on that side of it because my daughter can't have cupcakes. Okay, so I get it. So I just, every time there's someone's birthday party, she doesn't give a shit because I'll send her with stuff that she can eat. And she'll be like, yeah, cool. Eat your lousy shit. Look what I have. You know?
I know.
So, yeah.
I get it. It's like we had it. Those were like the things that I was talking to my son. I'm like, do you guys still play Heads Up 7-Up?
I've never played Heads Up 7-Up.
What?
No, it's like this game, right? Your head down and your thumb up on the desk.
Wait, what?
What was Heads Up 7-Up?
Heads Up, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we didn't call it Heads Up 7 Up.
Would you call it some kind of Jersey like bullshit, like
I don't know. Like it was called
knucklehead
It was called
sandwich?
Go Fuck Yourself. Yeah. We saw I don't know. No, we
I'm
played
gonna
Butts
break your
Up.
balls if you push my finger down.
No, that was a good game. That was a good game. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we have to like, get it out of our system because this one is like so terrible
Yeah.
with this mom, with Maggie. Oh,
Okay. Are we ready?
yeah.
So good second episode. Much more conversational with you and Mac. And I like hearing Mac. Um, I
Mm.
like how passionate and how no nonsense she is, and it's not that it belies the depth of her attachment to these cases, but it because she's not trying to cover that up, okay? But she doesn't dwell on the negative or on the emotional, but you can tell that there's this undercurrent of she really cares deeply about what she does, you know,
Yeah.
and but
Yeah.
she doesn't.
I'm glad that you
Yeah, oh
go
yeah,
ahead,
but she
sorry.
doesn't carry it in a way that makes her unapproachable, right? She
Yeah.
carries it in a way that like, oh, I can talk to her and cool and learn stuff and how willing she is to learn about stuff and how she trusts the people she works with. That was a big takeaway from this. She goes, I work with 50, 70, 100, whatever people and they get on something and what they tell me, I believe them, period. Fuck yeah,
Well,
go.
and the fact that shows her reputation that she can get these people to be on board with her, nonprofit where, this is they want to be a part of this. They want to give their time, and there's what a worthy pursuit to give your time to is to help people like Maggie. So I'm glad that you enjoyed Mac as much as I do because I really appreciate that her sense of humor and just her passion, because a lot of times, we talk about true crime and it's so down in the dumps, depressing, but there is this uplifting piece of it where it's like she's bringing hope to people and Maggie's journey, her meeting all these people who are like-minded. Unfortunately, they know someone that was murdered or whatever, and they feel like they're, in kind with her. I can imagine that that's what they're looking for because, let's face it, it's not really something you want to just bring up to someone. Yeah, my loved one was murdered, you know?
Yeah, and she in stark contrast, she positions herself not on purpose. She's not like shitting on anybody, but like the agencies that just don't call back, that don't get back in touch, where she's like, you tell me where to be and I'll ride shotgun with you, let alone not just ghosting you, and not willing to help. So, because she and Maggie didn't, that's the woman's name, right? The mom
Yeah. Yeah, Maggie.
didn't meet for a couple of years until years after the murder, correct?
Years after. Yeah,
Yeah.
years after. Yeah.
When she started her cross country tour and then
She'd
she
already
got
been, Brandon, she'd already been doing it for like 10 years.
yeah,
She
and
had
that
to have met her after because that phenotyping of the suspect with the blood and the semen DNA profile, that was not put on the hood of her car until like, 2017. So
right,
she met her when that was still when that was on the hood of her car
right. And
because they
that's how
never
she
took
got
it.
onto Mac's radar. The mom,
Yeah.
and how she just calls her the mama. Oh,
I know. Isn't that there's just something like
it's just so it's very authentic
Mhm, mhm.
and it's there's a weight to it. There's a heaviness to it because you know that it's man, it's a very strange kind of conglomeration of emotions that she's able to kind of live in the middle of where there's a heaviness but then there's a joy and there's a sadness and then but there's a professionalism and there's like a relentless like investigator right there but at the same time she's like this southern gal who you'll go have a beer with so it's a really she cuts a very interesting figure in law enforcement.
Well, and here's the thing, it was as you were talking, it was like reminding me of you referenced a book by Cormac McCarthy, which I hadn't read with that preacher, and how he was able to get people, within like 5 minutes or something. You
Blood
described that
Meridian,
whole
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like she's like that too, where she's that personality type, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Like you were referencing this negative thing, and she's like, so, because just with one word, when she says she's a mama's, I mean, I can't even do it. I won't even try because and actually, I wanted to call the series, I tried it. There's a blessing in trying. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And the way that she said it was like, yes, there's a blessing in just trying. Who knows if they'll ever figure this out, but to try, and I think that, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I think what it is you mentioned the character of the judge from Blood Meridian. You know, Shakespeare's nickname was nature's mirror, right? Like when you have characters like the judge or people like Mac, they're like holding up a mirror. With the judge, he's holding up a mirror for the basest, the darkest aspects of the human condition. And Mac is not that at all. Mac is holding up, the truth and honesty and righteousness, basically, and justice, and so she shows us like the what Lincoln said, the better angels of our nature. That's what I get from her.
I mean, and that's lofty for sure. And I totally get what you're saying. But like growing up with a single mom with a disability and to watch her, it really reminded me of my mom, of like people just underestimating her. Like, and she was smart. She knew that it was happening. We all knew that it was happening. And my sister and I were kind of a part of that crew where it's like, people are judging you, people are, gaslighting you. And having someone like Matt come along and really give, like some weight, even though she should be standing tall on her own, Maggie should be, but having that person, stand by you and say, hey, I'm with you. And I'm not only with you, but I'm going to publicly go and I'm going to say what I feel.
Yep.
And it's like, it's not like on national news. It's not on, whatever. She's just giving her, Maggie, that support. And I just feel like, that's what I respect about Cheryl the most, is just that she's willing to stand with Maggie and so many others, because I've referred cases to Cheryl, like a couple of different cases that I had been, reported on, and then just said, hey, maybe I connected local law enforcement in Washington State with her. And that was the extent of my involvement in it, but just to try to use her experts to help,
Right. Yeah.
And I just feel like she said, there's a blessing in trying, and it's not just with the investigation, it's just humanity, just being human.
Yeah. And then you add on top of that, like a really brilliant investigative mind. And I liked you mentioned it last week when I mentioned, if the dude was on the bed and the girl was on the bed, forensically you should be able to figure it out, right? And it felt good that Mac felt, got to the same place. I went, hey, we're the same, me and her, our minds.
I know. That's why I was like,
think alike.
I was laughing so hard because I was like, okay, he gets this one. Okay.
Oh my God. This one?
I'll give it to you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. And so, but what was the answer to that? Was there another?
They haven't done it. They don't get any. The curtain is not parted at all. Like they they don't know what's going on with this DNA, with the second profile. Like they don't talk to her. There's no, and they don't call back these other agencies, it sounds like.
Right.
Like, and as I said, I reached out, sent an email, for an interview request so I could kind of hear what they were saying, but I never heard back. So, I mean, that there's nothing more infuriating when you're ignored. It's like, I think that's why this is, what's that line from Fatal Attraction? I won't be ignored, Dan.
Won't be ignored, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's what it, you did that pretty well.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of Glenn Close.
I am too. Okay. So I just think that when to be ignored it brings out something in a mama bear that is undeniable,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So where does this stand now? The killer's just in the wind?
Okay, so they had 5 profiles total.
Yeah.
The first one, with the blood and the semen, was with the phenotype guy that was then brought through investigative genetic genealogy. They found him, they tested the DNA, it was him, and then he's like a rock solid alibi, but the envelope puts that in question. We don't know if they went back and followed up with him to see. We just don't know. Okay. So then the second profile were the underneath her fingernails, the scrapings under which had a DNA profile. So that is with Othram right now.
Okay, good.
And they're doing genetic genealogy. And, it's not like it's the thing that I've learned about investigative genetic genealogy and talking to these experts is that depending on what your genealogy is, it's not always a slam dunk where you're going to get to it. If there's not enough profiles in the system, I think that we've come to expect like the second you've got it, they're just going to figure it out. But they may.
No, it's like AI. All it can do is look backwards. It can't create stuff. If it's not there to parse and to compare against, there's nothing that you can do, right?
Yeah.
But what I also liked about this and about Mac is, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay. So I like when things are simplified. Okay.
Wait a second. You just got on me for like being one for you, score one for Brando.
And she said, if someone asked you to mail a letter for them, you would fucking remember.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Because I can't tell you the last time I mailed something to someone and like looked around for a stamp or whatever. And I know this was years ago, but even 10, 12 years ago, that's still something that stands out.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't a regular stamp. Remember, there was that
exactly. It was it happened at the post office or someone who has one of those machines. Okay. But regardless, whoever did it would have remembered doing it. Yeah. And they couldn't find anybody who said, yeah, she asked me to mail this for her. It was me. And so she goes, so it was either the victim or the killer, basically.
Yeah, or a friend who just for whatever reason
hasn't come forward.
But you would remember, because that would be a point of like, can you believe this? I know someone that asked me to, because whenever someone passes away, especially someone who's close to you, your it happens where the mortality comes into play.
No, but it's also, let's be honest, there's also a little bit of ego involved in there. Like, wow, I was just talking. Did you believe we make it about ourselves sometimes?
That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is about ourselves. Not the whole thing, but just
a big part of it.
Part of it. I mean, that's like like they say, and I don't know if this is the right statistic, okay, but it's just coming to me, so I'm just going to say it. But like when someone dies, like people have, babies afterwards, they have sex more, they want to live, they want to like, wow, we're only getting so much time, and it makes it so present in your mind when someone close to you or even tangentially, adjacent to you dies, so that's an issue. But the other thing too is that guy, the one with the rock solid alibi, he never came forward like what Mac was saying, that, this hood, because he was close enough to her that if that story is true and he's having sex with his girlfriend in her bed, he knew her, right? So he's would probably hear about the grieving mother's tour, and that, people are like, hey, that looks like your photo on the hood of her car.
I have another question for you about the mailing the letter thing.
Yeah.
Like, how many people in your life would you feel comfortable enough to say, hey, will you mail this for me? There aren't a lot. Right?
Not many. That Seinfeld episode where it's like they're talking about moving?
I never really watched Seinfeld.
Really?
Are you okay with that?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there was this episode and Jerry comes back. Do you know the premise of the show?
I do. I know. Okay. Yes.
I think it's Jerry and George who are talking. And they're like, he asked me to move. He asked me to help him move. And he's like, he asked you to help him move. What? You know, you just don't ask someone to help you to
Right.
move.
That's a
like,
very close,
you know,
it's a small group of friends that you like will help you.
very, very small. Very, very, very small. I think the same thing. It's like asking someone to mail a letter to you is kind of it's a responsibility. Like,
It
what if
is.
you
It's
get to,
responsibility, and they would remember it.
and they would remember it. Yes.
So it was either her 2 days later, which fucks up the alibi, or it was the killer.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I think.
yeah.
I think
Uh,
the letter is the whole thing. The letter is the entire case. Yep.
yeah.
Entire
So
case.
then the other thing is there are three other profiles
Mhm.
that have yet to be, at least to their knowledge, Maggie and from whatever Cheryl has seen about the investigation. There are three other profiles that could be sent away for investigative genetic genealogy. And that's what I was saying. Like, if Maggie's in the tent, she's going to talk to people to get money to help get these profiles tested. She already did it once with Paul Holes. He helped her
Right.
get funding, so she could do it again,
Yeah.
and that's another, she's not going away. I just don't understand the strategy of not bringing her in,
I don't get it either. I don't get it either, especially with how media friendly these cold cases have become. Like it's the media loves it. Consumers love it. And so you'd think that beyond just law enforcement doing their due diligence to close the case, and the fact that it's that they have the opportunity to solve a cold case, you'd think that they'd jump at it. So I don't really get what's happening.
and then the thing that really creeped me out was the frickin' door, like the little door in that
That's
apartment.
creepy.
Is that not creepy as
I mean,
hell?
well, hold on. Now it's not really creepy. It's a service door, right? And it runs in the background behind the wet wall and the electrical panels of all of these apartments. And it's usually in cold climates or wet climates. In California, you just see them all on the outside of the buildings, all the water meters, all the electrical meters. Okay. You just see them in a big apartment building. There's hundreds of them.
I get that, but for a young woman to have that, as a man, like, I'm just gonna say it, like, it's easy for you to say
No,
that,
no, no.
you
What I'm
know.
saying is you lock yours. It's like any other door. Just lock it.
You know what? It's kind of like kin to, like, have you ever seen those things where people have been living in other people's homes behind the walls?
Right, but it's
And,
not
like,
that.
you
I mean,
don't.
all right. With this, all right. How about this? How about this? Think of it this way: a larger corridor that
Mhm.
connects 100 apartments through
Mhm.
doors.
Okay.
Okay, it's a hallway.
Okay, that's red rum. Okay.
No, it's just a,
Red
it's just
rum.
a
I
hallway. It's
don't,
like a
I don't,
hotel.
I can't,
All
I,
it is accessible. It's another point of entry that you can
I would
lock.
want to know if there was one of those things in my apartment. That's all I'm saying. We don't know if
Right.
Brittany knew. We don't know
Yeah.
if the killer knew and that they could secret squirrel it in there. And it's like it's just another
It's
it's
another
just
layer, definitely.
another layer. It's like when it's like when you deadbolt your door and you put the little stick in the window and I mean it's like you don't want to live in fear, but like if he came through that freaking little door,
Yeah, but then
that,
how did he get into that one? That would mean that he was in another apartment in the building.
well, I mean, that's the thing. We don't, and again,
Huh.
another question mark. We don't know, Brandon, and that's the
Yeah.
thing but still, it's like, I know if it were your daughter, you would not, and she was going away to college, and there was a little door there, you'd be bringing your little carpenter tool
Yeah.
belt, like nailing that sucker shut.
I just put a lock on it, like your front door and the back door and the windows. Honestly, I would just look at it as another point of entry, um, to be secured.
I know, but what if you didn't even know it was there?
Right.
That's the
That's
thing.
the thing.
That's the thing.
That's the
What
thing.
if you
Absolutely.
didn't even know it was there?
Yep.
And like how many, I mean, when they're doing the apartment tour and you're all excited about it, and it's like when we had our apartment and we were never told hey, this creepy guy is going to come check your thermostat like all the time at all different hours of the day. And I mean, not in the middle of the night, but like this guy was just constantly, and I didn't think anything of it. He was just this old guy. I just didn't perceive him as a threat, although I felt like it was just getting to be too much and I didn't really get it because, you know, you don't really get the maintenance stuff going on and you just trust people. You're just like, yeah, okay, you know. You want to be helpful. It's affecting everybody else. Like, it's just depending on what kind of information she had, that would just be really, you know, really awful if she didn't know that it was there and that was the point of entry. And then he's just there, you know?
So where does it stand now? They're waiting to get DNA results?
Waiting to get back investigative genetic genealogy results for the second profile of the fingernail scrapings. And, you know, is that alibi with the first suspect that was cleared? Is that good? You know, we don't know. And like Max said, we don't, you know, he could totally not be completely innocent. But it's just like, let Maggie know so she can rest. Yeah. So she can, like, let this go. You know, let that person, you know, that, because she's not gonna rest until she, you know, which is sad. Or should she? I know, but she's spending her life doing this.
Yep.
You know, and that's it's like 2 lives, you know?
Wow. All right. Well, you know, where can people if they know anything about it, is there someone they can contact? Is there an email?
No, they can contact the Tulsa PD, and in the episode I gave the number there. I don't have it off the top of my head. And then
we'll put it in the show note. I'll put it in the show notes also.
Yeah, and then Maggie has a Brittany Phillips Facebook page.
Okay. And
she gets a lot of people, and I think she's got like a BrittanyPhillips.net email address. So just go to her Facebook page, and you know, any information would be appreciated. I'm sure.
Well done. I always love hearing from Mac, and if you like the episode, share it with someone who you think would get something out of it. And really, if you have any insight on the case, call the Tulsa PD. Head on over to Apple or Spotify and rate and review the show. Leave a comment. Every little bit helps more than you could know. Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Bye.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.